Three, two, one, live. Oh, that's my part. I need some like intro tunes or something as we do these things because I need to get like kind of pumped up or something, beat my chest or play some J-Lo or something. It says we're building audience for you. Oh, okay, so Facebook is at work. Every time I do Facebook Live every single week, the freaking thing changes, the platform, which is cool because I know they're making it better, but holy cow. So I'm Ben, you probably know me. We're gonna talk about Pilot Minute coaching and asking for help being like the number one, like literally the number one thing you can do to work your career and move it forward is to ask for some help. If you're joining, I want you to do something. I want you to say hi. Thanks, Tom. Hey, Rachel. I want you to say hi, put a comment in, let me know you're here because it's like a little lonely on this side. So whether you watch this after the fact or live, put your name in the comments, say hi, join in, and then each time you can hit like or love, and it flies across my screen, and it's actually really exciting for me. So I'm going to ask for help and I'm going to ask that you comment and you like and you love or whatever. You put the shade little emoji or whatever. So, Gabriel, all right. So we're going to talk about Pilot Minute coaching. So www.pilot.coach/minute. You can sign up for our free weekly coaching. And then what we're doing is every Tuesday we're getting on Facebook and Periscope and doing a little deeper dive on what the topic of the week was. So this one, there's another like. Is that Angela, maybe? And so sometimes they're a little small. That's why I need a little comment, a little hello down there. We're talking about asking for help. So the number one thing, so here's why asking for help can be tough, is because oftentimes it makes us think that we're like vulnerable or that we're weak or that we're not self-sufficient. And so realize that asking for help is actually allowing someone else to contribute to you. And it's not just something where it's like just a take or a selfish thing or an imposition. And the thing is, I struggle sometimes because I like to be very self-reliant. I'm, self-made, and although I came from a great family and very supportive and things like that, very kind of middle-class background, I struggle because sometimes I feel like it's like a weakness. Hey, Karen. And so I really like the idea of kind of being more vulnerable. Now, it takes some courage for me to say, hey, I don't have this all figured out, or hey, I don't have this resource, I don't know how to do this thing, or I don't have this connection, or I don't really know what to do, or I'm freaking out, all those sort of things. So asking for help kind of exposes you a little bit, right? To say like, hey, I don't have this all figured out. So you got to have enough kind of courage and kind of strength with yourself to be the kind of person that asks for help. But that's a pretty bold person, frankly. I'm going to lower my camera. I think it's like a little high. Hey, look at this. Like a pro. So that's the first part, is you have to kind of be bold enough to do that asking. And again, this may not sound sexy, like, oh, look, ask for help. How special is that, right? Gabriel's husband says, that's what my husband always says, he's a financial manager at a large bank. Yeah, people, don't ask for that help, and it really, you got to have some cojones to do that. But frankly, the people that make the asks get a lot more. Things start to move and happen, and they're quick because they can just get past looking bad or worrying about looking bad. Because in reality, when you ask for help, you don't look bad, but you think you might. And so if you can just have a little courage to get past that, that's great. By the way, if you're just joining, say hi, put a little comment in, like it, give me comments. If you flash it, there's like hearts that'll go across the screen. So that's the first step. So people like helping. Oh, there's Rachel. Rachel put a link to our minute coaching right here, so you can see it in the comments. That's where you can sign up. And by the way, I give you like literally custom from me advice every week, and I follow up with you to see if you did what you said you're going to do. So people like helping. Okay, they like to make a difference. They like to contribute to someone else. And frankly, like so many people are so miserable in their jobs because they're talented and they're smart, but they're kind of locked and they got these little handcuffs and they've got to do whatever they're going to do in their role, or they got some jerk boss. So if you give them an opportunity to connect you with someone, to give you advice, to encourage you, give you a pep talk, review something, give feedback, you're actually giving them a gift because they get to feel useful and contribute, which is a pretty damn good feeling. So asking for help matters. There we go. Rachel just gave me a little love. That's good. So just realize that that's the case. Now, your network is chock full of resources, way more than you realize, and you have to realize that people are way more, rich in resources and what they can help you with than you realize. People will sit down with me and they don't know that I, worked at the rental car business, or that I did, worked at, a grocery store, or understand unions, or all these different things. like, and I know people like in every industry and that kind of do everything. And if I don't know the person, I'll know someone that probably knows the person. So you don't want to prejudge anyone in your network, and just know that people are, full of resources. I mean, this morning, I'm walking down the street to this kind of networking breakfast, and I get set up on these kind of business blind dates all the time. I just try to be open-minded, and I go, and some of them are kind of a waste, and some of them are okay, and some of them are awesome, and I just play for the awesome ones. And I go, and I was meeting with a product engineer who was very smart and has been successful and whatnot, but I'm thinking, I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go. But here he's got all these insights about fundraising. Now, on the way to my breakfast, I thought, I would love to learn more about fundraising in case I want to do that with Pilot, and I know some about it, but I need to know a lot more. I need to ask for help, but I don't look like I don't know what I'm doing, and da-da-da. All of that came up for me. Even though I've done all this work on myself, that still comes up for me right there. And I think, okay, I should call this person, maybe this afternoon I can get a hold of them. Well, guess what? I sit down with this person today at breakfast, and guess what they know all about? Even though they're an engineer, fundraising. They know all about fundraising, like in a sophisticated way, and like what to do, and it was like so fantastic. And I said, hey, I could use some help looking at if I want to raise funds or not. I'd like to make Pilot grow faster and better and bigger and more powerful, and I'd like to maybe get some additional money to do that. And it was like it just showed up at this freaking breakfast with someone I didn't expect, simply because I asked. Now, by the way, if you're just joining, give me a like and put a comment in. I don't know why you're so shy, everybody. I want to see who you were. I can see who this is. So know that I saw you and you didn't say hi. So say hi, be friendly. That's the help I'm asking for. Give me a little like there. There we go. And so you don't want to prejudge anyone either, right? So it may be that your friend is a mortgage broker, or your friend is a botanist, or she is a dance choreographer. And you may think, well, do they know a good lawyer or accountant, or could they give good feedback on this technology experience? You don't know what they did in a previous life, what their spouse or their friends do, who they went to college with, who's in their yoga meetup club, who's in, they meet at AA meetings, whatever. People know all sorts of people. Cesar, all right, I like that. So Cesar, I'm gonna like Rachel's and Cesar's right now. So I can real time. And so it's asking for that help. You don't know who they know. So people will ask. I had someone that asked me for a divorce attorney. Now I'm very far from getting divorced. I've never been married. I'm happy to get a third date sometimes. I feel like. And so here I am getting asked for a divorce attorney. Well, guess what? I know a lot of attorneys. I used to be on a legal services nonprofit board. I asked around. I got 3 great referrals. That person started using the person. They've had a fantastic experience. So they ask a single guy who's never been divorced for a divorce attorney. Well, guess what? I brought them 3 really good ones. They found what they really like, and it made a big difference to that individual. And so that's the sort of thing that that's a person that didn't prejudge me and just asked for help and then got what they needed. And they're off to the races, and they have the representation that they need. So, you want to be very specific in your ask, right? People will be like, oh, I need some marketing help. What's marketing help? What do you mean? If you say, hey, I need someone to help me do Facebook ads because we need to sell my beauty product online. Oh, okay. Or, hey, I really need someone to help me find a very good product manager. We need to hire someone. I'm looking for product manager candidates. Or, hey, I need to find a really good recruiter to help, find a role for me. Or, hey, I need a resume writer to help me with my resume. Very specific, and I want a resume that's conservative and it's going to be good in banking. Well, that's a different resume writer than it's more of a graphic designer that say, hey, I want to be a creative and really make my mark and have this thing. Different sort of ask. It's going to be very, very, very specific. So when I talk about fundraising, I'm saying I'm not raising a Series A or something further down. It's like a seed round of funding between this amount, and when I would want to raise it, and kind of from what kind of people. And I say that, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, we're off to the horses, or off to the races, on the horses. Yeah. Joe, hi, thanks for the like. I see Joe at the gym, and Joe's up to stuff and is running 3 different businesses himself. He hustles, and so. That specific sort of ask. People will say, gosh, I have a foot injury, I need a great physical therapist. I'm I got 2 great places to send you, right? Versus just in general, I need a doctor. It's no, I need a sports medicine or physical therapist, for which part, then you just know, then people can help you. So very specific in your ask. And again, you got to get over all the vulnerability and feeling like you're a goofball for not knowing, or, feeling like you're going to owe someone something. You got to get over all of that so you can just make the ask. You want to make it easy. So sometimes like on Facebook, I'll be like, hey, like who's got recommendations for this? And I'm not like fill out this web form or email this, like just type it in. People drop a link or mention a restaurant, whatever. And I put all that together and I make it like very, very, very easy for people to contribute to me. Or I'll say something like, you know, hey, just text to this number or do this sort of thing or whatever, or just jot it down on a note card and they scribble it down and then just hand it to me and then it's done. They don't have to write some long email or some intro. I say, I'll just call them, right? I had someone that, you know, was offered me to be on a South by Southwest panel thing that we'll be promoting soon to hopefully get selected. And it was like, you know, I just offered, you know, in terms of making it easy, just call their PR person directly because they were in meetings all day and they said, that'd be great. And then all of a sudden the thing just moved, right? So you want to make it easy. Think of them as a customer and making it easy in that regard. And remember that you're only maybe one ask away. It could be for everything you need. You need the big break, that big media opportunity, that thing with styling, that big sponsorship, that big whatever. Maybe just the big pep talk, someone to believe in you, or the person's got office space they want to give you. You could be just a hair away from a breakthrough, but you just got to ask because the universe doesn't know. Think of like a switchboard, supply and demand. The universe doesn't know that you need something unless you raise your freaking hand and say, yo, I need this, okay? So you want to think in that regard of like, you've got to make it known what your needs are. And then people can kind of usher that in and bring that to you. So if you just joined, give me a like, comment, say hello, then I can say what's up and give you a shout out. And it's nice to know that we got a live audience and some live ones. So we're talking about asking for help with Pilot Minute Coaching this week and the importance in your career of just raising your hand. Like I wanted to be on a nonprofit board, right? I didn't know diddly squat about how to get on a nonprofit board, but then I knew Joe. Joe was a recruiter that worked with nonprofits. Guess what? Joe like mentored me over a series of 3-hour-long calls and was like, you got to think about like local, regional, national, international. Is this a policy board or fundraising? Is it mature governance or startup? Is this volunteer or like all these distinctions I didn't have. But Joe helped me, and he's like, oh, well, what would get you up on a Saturday and give up your time and your money? And then it was like, oh, like don't ask, don't tell repeal. Boom, I got on Service Members Legal Defense Network board, was a part of an incredible civil rights victory, working with super smart people. I joined a fantastic team to support the work that they'd been working on for almost 15 or 20 years. And I got to help finish that job, which was fantastic to be a part of that team. Hey, Brian. So, you know, that's an example of asking for help as well. And yeah, we got Cesar and Brian, all these guys from Mexico. They're holding it together today. So, you know, I think that it's just an opportunity for you to just let it be known what you're up to. All sorts of people I know who are up to things, their big break came from some sort of loose connection, or they're at a party and they're in the kitchen and they're vying to get to the blender to pour the rosé slushy, and they say, yeah, what do you do? Yeah, right now we're really trying to find the right da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, oh, and like, boom, and that's it. That's the moment. From some like complete stranger in a kitchen at a house party, off to the races. Like that's such a New York sort of moment that can happen anywhere, by the way. But people are very open here about those sort of things. And so, like, just that little moment of just speaking up, of raising your hand, and people ask, you know, like, how do I, like, keep notes better? Like, this doesn't have to be huge. People are like, I need a good phone system. I'm like, I got just the company that's great, right? You know, I need to figure out this. I need to figure out that. I need a great, you know, whatever. I need a great bookkeeper. I'm like, I have a great bookkeeper. You know, so it's just, sometimes the help is, like, literally, it's so little effort on my part, and it's such a big impact on their part. And so, like, and then I'm like, great, I helped a company that I believe in, and a friend, like, win, win, win. And then, by the way, if I need something, they're probably going to be more likely to help me. Now, here's the most important part of asking for help, is thanking people. You don't want to be one of these people that's always just like, you only call someone when you need something, you text them, like, oh, hey, how are you? How's your summer? Hey, I need the da-da-da-da. Like, annoying, right? Like, you want to be the kind of person that has a relationship and is always looking to help people out. And, you know, Rachel mentioned this thing that is said in lobbying a lot. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So whose mind are you on? Whose ambient awareness are you in? And so you want to think about, you know, how can you let people know that what they did for you made a difference? How can you let people know that they made a contribution and that, you know, whatever. Like, if they give you a great bookkeeper and you use them for 2 months, call them, say, hey, I really appreciate it. They're great. They made a huge difference. Thank you. Just thank them. Write them a card. Cards are great. Send them a text, give them a phone call, an email maybe, like something, right? You know, do a tweet and put the new company in you, or thanks for the intro and the power hour, and like just let people know that the loop was kind of closed or connected. Then also ask them, like, what are they up to? You know, say, hey, how can I, like, simply ask, hey, how can I help you? what are you up to? How can I support you? And then listen. And they may say, you know, I'm really trying to shop my book, but I don't have a good editor. Oh, like, and guess what? Like, you'll think of someone, you know, someone, and it happens like that. But you have to stop and ask. Have it be a mutuality. Now, it doesn't mean tit for tat or quid pro quo, where everything is just like, you know, well, you give me this and I gotta do that. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. But in general, it should be a two-way street over time. Some reciprocity. It may be that you really help them find someone amazing to hire, and then like that's just like you're really appreciative and you let them know. But then, you know, 6 months later they may need something and you say, oh, like, let me help you with that, or you're up to this, or you see them post about their company or something on Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Throw them $100, you know, help promote it on Twitter and Facebook, you know, give them some comments, give them, you know, they're looking for testers on something. Okay, great, like, I would love to test the product, right, you know, whatever it may be, you know, they're like trying to do something, give them some great advice, just like figure out ways that you can pay it back, not just pay it forward to others, but pay them back. Most people will never expect it, so when you do it, it just freaking makes their day. So, Minute Coaching this week is all about asking for help. There's a great 1-minute video on Pilot.coach. If you go there and you go to Minute Coaching, you'll see it's video number 4 or 5, I think, something like that. And it's all about asking for help. It's the number one thing. I mean, the number one thing. Ask your coworkers, can you review this memo? Can you look at this financial model? Can you tell me how to get along with our freaking boss better? Just asking the simplest things can make the biggest difference. But you have to raise your hand. You have to get past all of that, like I should know how to do this by myself, or I don't want to bother them, I don't want to impose, like all of that. Like, wah. Successful people are asking for things all the time. They're thanking people, they're making it easy, it's clear, they're not prejudging, but they're saying, hey, can you look at this, can you help me with that, can you make an introduction here, And then all of a sudden it's like popcorn popping and things just start to move. And I mean, what do you think people are doing on golf courses, you know, besides drinking beer? They're asking for help, they're talking about deals, they're making connections, they're getting feedback. So, like, don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask for help. So that's what we got this week on Pilot Minute Coaching. More to come. But this sleepy, kind of hot August week, don't let it fly by. Don't just, you know, be drinking rosé at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Ask for something. Like, what would make a difference? Do you need a new accountant? Do you need a photographer for a headshot? Do you need to know where you can take a certification, you know? Do you need to know if something is worth the money to do this? Do you need to know good executive education? Do you need to find a way to volunteer more? Do you need to, you know, figure out how to manage a project so it's not a hot mess? Do you need to learn how to run a meeting better? Do you need to find a stylist so you can dress appropriately at work and be stylish? You know, whatever it may be, like, you want to think through all of that and just start asking. Ask away. I mean, gosh, when I went to Portugal a month ago, I said, hey, what's your Portugal stick? Like, I mean, 100 of them. I have them all in the Evernote note. By the way, if you're going to go to Portugal or Barcelona, my 2 recent trips, ask me. I'll send you an Evernote link with, like, everything just, like, mapped out. Again, ask for help. I'll give you, like, everything you need to do in those cities. You don't have to do any more research. It's all there, all packaged in one link. Super easy. If someone just asks me, right? There's Christo. Hey, what's up? There's Amy. So just ask for the littlest things. Hey, have you ever done business with this company? Hey, have you ever used an Airbnb in, you know, Russia? Does that work or not? You know? Hey, is this credit card good? Like, just get people's experiences. You know, hey, I need to figure out this. Hey, you know, whatever it may be. Because frankly, your friends and your family and your network and your colleagues can, I mean, why brute force all that? Why go on Google and spend hours looking at, you know, blog posts from, you know, 2004 on about.com and there's some random comments about old data? Like, just ask people and just, like, get right to the heart of the matter and get going. So ask for help, visit Pilot Minute Coaching, and have a great week.